If you're having,
Bleeding.
yeah, like that's how, I started having rectal bleeding 3, 4 days before my periods, and I would have that rectal bleeding throughout my periods. Um, and that was I mean, by that point, it had already destroyed my sigmoid colon. You know what I mean? But before I got to the point where I was bleeding, um, the diarrhea sometimes, I definitely had like the constipation piece, but just pain when I would go to the bathroom. And then it got to the point where it was painful to poop, whether I was on my period or not. So I think there's a lot of progression over time. When you start having symptoms when you're a teenager and you don't get diagnosed until you're in your early 30s, the disease is so much more than like 3 symptoms. If I think back to whenever I was 15 and I first started having symptoms and the course that the disease took throughout basically that 15, 16 years of my life before I was diagnosed, there are tons of different symptoms that I had, things that were clearly now endometriosis that were labeled as something very different than what it was, too. There's so much misconception, so much misdiagnosis for years and years and years that you are thinking you have all of these things wrong with you because, like you said, it's systemic, it affects your whole body. And it turns out, oh, it was the endometriosis all along. This has
Yes.
been impacting me all over.